What's up? It's Lex with Feedback Audio, and today we're talking about limiters. Limiters are an awesome tool that you're going to see used in the music industry when it comes to mixing and mastering all the time. They are basically just compressors, but with a higher ratio. So let's get into it. A limiter is a compressor with a ratio of 10 to 1 as the minimum or higher. You're going to see different things on every type of limiter and compressor where sometimes you can set the ratio, but if you're in a compressor and you're 10 to 1 or you're going all the way to nuking, you are limiting. That's what you're doing. Now, a limiter works a little different than a compressor because you can set a ceiling that basically says, hey, the audio signal is not allowed to go past this ceiling. And if you do that, that's going to help you avoid clipping in the mastering stage and any kind of like clipping based distortion. Now, you still can destroy your signal if you do way too much limiting. So we're going to talk about how to use the limiter, the way that they work, and where they can best be applied. So the first thing we're going to do is jump over here to our session. Today we're working with a song called Fade Away by Sean D. Brown. He's a rapper here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. This session is the perfect session to be looking at today because it's simple. All we have is the 2-track for the beat, just a couple of, not even a lot of layers, but just the main vocal and a couple of little things sprinkled in and out. This is very typical of what you're going to see in a session, maybe if you're working at home or something like that. And so it's a perfect example for today. So I'm going to go ahead and just play our example so you can kind of hear the song, get the idea, and then we'll jump in and talk about how the limiter is being used on this song, and we'll break it down more from there.
Listen, only thing I'm missing in my life is you. I got the car, I got the house with no one to come through. I made some sacrifices, thought I had a point to prove. Now I feel like Robin Thicke, cause I'm lost without you. I'm feeling lonely, I can't lie, I can't shake this feeling. I'm drinking liquor by the bottle just to feel some healing. I'm spending money trying to fill that void that you were bringing. I know the piece of my heart that you had gonna be missing. They say...
All right, perfect. We love Sean. Sean is the man, great storyteller, great rapper, and we're thankful for him letting us use his song today. So let's talk about limiters at first. I'm just going to pull up like a basic looking limiter. Nothing crazy to work with here. This is the Waves L1 limiter. Most people end up using this at some point in their career because Waves are very entry-level plugins to get in and get stuff done with. They're not super expensive, and this is a great one to get started with. So when you're looking at the controls, we just have a couple of things, not very much on a limiter. You've got your out ceiling, which is going to tell your computer, like, look, the signal cannot go past this ceiling. So it's going to set a hard stop ceiling for you and your audio signal. The threshold is just like a compressor. You start bringing that threshold down. Once the audio crosses that threshold, the limiter is going to enact and you're going to see gain reduction, okay? So when you set an out ceiling, like I said, you're telling the computer, look, man, the signal cannot go past this in any way, shape, or form. We do not want any type of clipping or distortion through clipping, okay? So where to put your out ceiling is what people ask all the time. There's different reasons why you would maybe move this lower or higher depending on what you're going for, but we're going to talk about limiting in the mastering stage as the example today. So if we're talking about mastering, you just want to do this. Pull it down just a tad. You want to be at that negative 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Those are kind of your options. A lot of people just do 0.1, negative 0.1, and say, hey, this is literally right below 0, right before it would start clipping, right when you would be in the red. It's going to hold it right before then. So that can give you your loudest possible master, okay? So again, you're pushing the signal in the volume, but it's not going to go past negative 0.01. So it's right there at 0, but you're not going to see any red on your meter. Okay, then again, you would pull your threshold down until that starts happening, and then you're going to see some gain reduction over here on this side. Now, for this song, I'm not using the L1 limiter. I'm actually using Ozone 9. I know they're on like 11 now, but I'm just rocking with 9 because it works great for me, and I'm used to it. I use this for all kinds of things, some multi-band compression, EQ, dynamic EQ, depending on what I'm doing. But for this song, we're definitely using the limiter. So I have my limiter set at the ceiling set at negative 0.3. Now, people are going to tell you different stuff. It does not really matter. If you put it at negative 0.1, there may be some chances that things get through there a little bit. and you could get into clipping. So I like to give myself a little bit of room. People are probably going to backlash me for that, but this is what I like to do, and this is what I've been doing. So this is what we're going to keep doing. So I have mine set at negative 0.3, and then you can see my threshold is way down here. Now I'm just going to play the song just so you can see the audio signal going through here. Especially when those 808s kick in, you're going to kind of see that limiter enact.
Sacrifices, thought I had a point to prove. Now I feel like robbing thick, cause I'm lost without you. I'm feeling lonely, I can't lie, I can't shake this feeling. I'm drinking liquor by the bottle just to feel some healing.
Okay, and what you're seeing when you see these blue lines are coming down here, that's actually our gain reduction or our attenuation. So that's showing me how much gain reduction is happening, how hard we're hitting that limiter. When you are limiting, especially for a master, there's a couple of things you want to keep in mind. Like you might be shooting for a certain amount of LUFS, LUFS, which is like a measurement of loudness. Like for me personally, I like to shoot for -10. That's kind of what I've always rocked with. But if I am crushing my signal with the limiter and I'm doing like 6 to 10 decibels of gain reduction, right? That is not what you want to see. That's going to be, could be potentially destructive to your signal. Now, if you're using a limiter in the right way, hopefully you've already got a pretty loud mix and you're just kind of pushing the overall volume of the whole thing. We're not going to be hitting anything too hard. So you're going to see when my limiter comes in, especially with those 808s, I'm really only doing like 3 to 5 dB worth of gain reduction. I don't think I even get close to 5 on this. It just shows that little bit. And when you're doing that soft kind of limiting in that, when you already have a loud mix, you're getting that soft limiting, it's going to make your overall impact of the song greater. So again, if you want to see
sacrifices, thought I had a point to prove. Now I feel like robbing thick, cause I'm lost without you. I'm feeling lonely, I can't lie, I can't shake this feeling. I'm drinking.
So yeah, I saw it get to like 4.2, but nothing crazy there. Now, say we take all of this stuff off. So I have some other mastering things going on before I get to the limiter, but say we want to do limiter from scratch here. I'll take ozone off. We're going to set our ceiling at negative 0.1. And that's going to be there. Then we're going to start to pull our threshold down. You're going to hear the song be softer than it just was because I took the limiter off. And you're going to see as we get into that compression, into that limiting, but we have that ceiling set, the overall loudness of the song is going to grow, but we're not going to go past that ceiling. Now let's talk about this. When you have a ceiling set and you start adding compression, again, you're making the overall loudness of the whole thing greater, which is cool, but you're also killing your dynamic range. So if you've got an acoustic song, say it's just acoustic guitar and vocals, you're not going to want to be hitting a limiter super hard because you're going to lose the, big explosion in the chorus and the super, super soft verses and things like that. So the more that you are limiting, remember you are compressing. So you're bringing all the lows higher in volume and all the highs are going to stay where they're at because of that ceiling. So you're going to lose some dynamic range. Now, if you're working on a hip hop song, you can slam that shit a little bit and it'll be totally fine because you want that big impact. But if you hit it too hard, those 808s are going to hit and you're going to hear the whole song kind of vacuum into itself. You'll hear pumping and things like that. And pumping is super cool, especially in electronic music, but you usually do that in the mixing stage. You don't want to really be doing that in the mastering stage. You want a clean master. So don't hit your limiter too hard, but let's go ahead and set this one.
Sacrifices, thought I had a point to prove. Now I feel like robbing thick, cause I'm lost without you. I'm feeling lonely, I can't lie, I can't shake this feeling. I'm drinking liquor by the bottle just to feel some healing. I'm spending money trying to fill that void that you were bringing. I know the piece of my heart that you had gon' be missing. They say you never miss a good thing till that good thing gone. Those words ain't never felt real as I write this song.
So at first, I was hitting it a little too hard, right? So like the 808s were coming in and getting a little distorted. And I was like, okay, I'm doing too much. I was doing kind of like 6 dB worth of gain reduction here, and that wasn't working. So I just trimmed that threshold back a little bit, and then you get that big round 808 that's thumpy and boomy, but without the distortion. So that's the thing, is you don't want to be messing with your sound. But another thing I want you to notice is this is set at negative 0.1, and down here on our master output it is negative 0.1. It's not going to go above that, right? So let me play it back.
Sacrifices, thought I had a point to prove. Now I feel like robbing thick, cause I'm lost without you. I'm feeling lonely, I can't lie, I can't shake this feeling.
We are just not getting in all the way to 0. It's not going to happen. That meter is going to hold there because that's the ceiling that we set. So if you're doing mastering, limiting is absolute must. You have to do it to get your sound to be loud enough. You want to make sure when you're doing your mixes that you're leaving about 6 dB worth of headroom for your mastering engineers so that when they put their limiter on, they have space to make the signal louder without absolutely crushing it. You can crush your signal in a bad way with a limiter. You have to be careful. I've seen people put limiters on all kinds of things, which is great if you want that much compression. On a rap vocal, it can be fantastic as part of the chain. But on an acoustic guitar or a piano, you're going to be cooking your signal and not having the natural breath and airiness that's around that instrument because you're hitting it too hard with compression. All right? So be careful with your limiters. Use them in the right way. Set your ceiling to where you want it and slowly bring down that threshold. Okay, and it's gonna bring out the volume for whatever source that you're using. Now remember, it's compression, so all that low volume stuff is gonna get louder, okay? So you gotta be careful. If you want dynamic range, make sure you're not slamming it too hard. One of the biggest mistakes I hear especially with producers, people who are making beats, is they'll send me a beat and be like, yo, what do you think about this? And I can tell that they just hit a limiter at the end of the chain as hard as possible because the 808s are cooked. Now, that effect can be great, but you can get distorted 808s in the mix. You do not have to do that at the mastering stage. So be careful. You're just neutering all your low end. It might sound cool on your iPhone, but as soon as I bring it out on something like the Barefoots, where I have 6-inch subs on either side of each monitor, it is overwhelming to the point where it's like you have to do so much even just to get the bass to play nice. So make sure you're not just crushing it in a limiter to make it louder and sound better. You can fix that stuff in your mix with distortion, with overdrive, saturation, compression, things like that in the mix stage so that when you get to the master, all you're doing is making the whole picture more impactful sonically. All right, that's it for limiters. Give them a go, try it out. Remember, it's just compression at a 10-to-1 or more ratio. It can be really cool on certain things like vocals, snare drums, the master, the whole thing, but don't use them on just anything randomly. If it's the thing that you need, if you need a ton of compression, grab it and throw it on the chain. Thanks for tapping in with us. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. We love you.